Hello, why don't you join me on a quick day trip in my VW van to Krtiny, in the heart of the Moravian Karst. Hi, so my name's Gary, and I'm starting this new YouTube channel called Van Life Brno. Now, I already have a YouTube channel, Earth Magic Brno, and I often go dowsing and on trips in my camper van. But it struck me that I really needed a specific channel for my vanning so that I could show people the Czech Republic and Central and Eastern Europe and visit some nice places. Now, currently I'm in a VW Silt camper, the van that's behind me. But actually, I'm just trying to sell this because I have on order a custom Sprinter that is capable of stealth camping. And so on this channel, although I've posted a few videos of me in the VW, coming into the new year 2026, I intend to be taking you all on trips around the Czech Republic, doing some stealth camping, showing you some Czech food and some spiritual and beautiful historical places in this country, and then broadening my visits to other countries in the region in Central and Eastern Europe. So I hope that you'll join me and my Sprinter on these trips in the coming months and years. Please do like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. So this is the VW. It's currently for sale. It is fully loaded. It has solar panel on top. It is a custom Silt camper from Germany import, and inside it has a bed downstairs, a pop top. It has a lithium leisure battery. It has a nice fridge, a 2-burner gas stove, a sink, and it also has quite a lot of storage space for food, bedding and other items. It's a really nice van. I feel very bad selling it, but I just feel the need for something slightly bigger, more luxurious, and certainly more stealth than this. So if you are interested in buying this van, it is for sale. I live in the Czech Republic, however, and so you probably need to be in Central Europe somewhere. Anyway, this is my van. The passenger seat does swivel around, and there is a table, a beautiful extendable table, which is currently stored behind the driver's seat right now. The van is 2022 T6.1. It wasn't used or registered until 2023, so it's actually only 2 years old. Beautiful, beautiful van. It also has an awning, as you can see, and a diesel heater, so it's all set up for winter camping should you want. So today I'm not going to camp. It's going to be -5 tonight, and I'm not really geared up for it at the moment, but I have come out to a nice area north of Brno, and this is the limestone karst area, and I'm going to be visiting shortly a nice little village called Krtiny, where there is a very nice basilica that's been built in the name of the Virgin Mary, and also one of my favourite coffee shops when I do these trips. So let's jump back in the van and we'll go off. We'll take a look at this church real quick, and then we'll have a coffee and a cake before heading back to my house. It is a diesel 2-litre automatic. Krtiny is dominated by this rather large church, which is dedicated to the Virgin Mary, and behind it is a chateau from the 19th century. The church was designed by Santini and is very ornate, but actually was never completed. It actually comprises two churches, a main church and then a smaller chapel. And this actually replicates the fact that originally there were two churches on this site, what was so-called the German church and the Czech church. The site is actually quite ancient, even though the town of about 900 people is only first mentioned in 1239 and was originally owned by a group of nuns out of Brno. The valley that is in the Moravian karst, the limestone area, and there's lots of caves to visit around, one of which you can actually take an underwater boat ride in. Now, this whole valley is actually known as the Baptism Valley, and one of the legends is that the two saints who brought in Christianity to this Slavic country actually baptized people in this valley, maybe even at this site. But it's an apocryphal tale, one that you'll find in many valleys in this region. The church is a site of pilgrimage, and it has some beautiful bells which ring out tunes at certain times of the day, as well as all of these posters of a sighting of the Virgin Mary on a cloud with baby Jesus, which was reputed to have happened, I believe, in 1946 nearby. Inside, the church is extremely ornate, but very cold. It's actually one of my favourite places to come for meditation. The church is really filled with energy and really cold. Check out this ceiling, for example. Look at the detail. Look at the beautiful paintings. In fact, the church is magnificent inside and outside and well worth a visit, but I would pick a warm day. The altar itself is dominated by this statue, reputedly of the Virgin Mary holding Jesus, but in fact, I would argue that this is actually the pagan goddess, Merkosh, resting on the moon, and above her, hidden away in the symbology, is a picture of a horned god, Veles, the Slavic god of the underworld. Nonetheless, inside the church are lots of pagan and Christian symbols. There's also wonderful energies here, absolutely marvellous for meditation. You should try it if you're passing. Of course, a visit to Krtiny would not be complete without a trip to my favourite coffee shop in the area, and on a day like today, a white hot chocolate sounds just the job. Well, the coffee shop is just over the road from the church, and it's this small building here. It is usually open, I think, every day but Monday, and inside is worth a visit because not only is it a coffee shop and a place where you can buy local produce and certain other items, but it's also got a retro display, which I'll show you in a minute. Just look at those cakes, to die for, huh? Today I settled for a tiramisu and a white hot chocolate. And just look at the wallpaper and the curtains, very retro, very 1970s, 1960s even. And there is this display in the back where you can take a look at some of this retro stuff, probably from the communist era, but it resembles my childhood, including the typewriter and the big black and white television. The dolls creep me out a little bit, as they might you, as well as some of these posters on the wall, but it's still an interesting exhibition if you're into that sort of thing. And anyway, it's worth a visit just for the coffee. So that's a strange sort of place with the retro, I guess, communist era stuff. Actually, reminds me of the sort of stuff I grew up with, the old-fashioned TV and the general sort of design. But a very strange place. But I can vouch for their coffee and cake. Absolutely delicious. So that's just a quick trip in the van. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and it's a taste of things to come. Remember, please do subscribe to my new channel, which is Van Life Brno. And in 2026, we'll go on some wonderful trips together, I promise. Bye.